The Cursed Mirror. Once, in an old village nestled at the foot of a mountain, there was a legend of a cursed mirror. This mirror was said to have the power to show not just your reflection, but your deepest fears. It was locked away in the attic of an abandoned mansion on the outskirts of town. One rainy evening, a curious young woman named Emily, drawn by the mystery of the old mansion, decided to uncover the truth. She had heard the tales since childhood, but the thought of facing her own fears intrigued her more than it scared her. As she stepped into the mansion, the door creaked and slammed shut behind her. The air inside was thick with dust, and the smell of mildew filled her nostrils. The house was eerily silent, except for the occasional sound of dripping water from the leaking roof. She climbed the narrow staircase and reached the attic door, which was already slightly ajar. Inside the attic, she found the mirror covered with a thick cloth. Her heart raced as she pulled it off. The mirror was old, its frame twisted with intricate carvings that seemed to shift in the dim light. Emily stared at her reflection, but something was off. The face staring back at her wasn't her own, it was distorted, twisted with a look of pure terror. Suddenly, the reflection began to move on its own. The mirror shimmered and flickered, and Emily felt a cold breath on her neck. She turned, but no one was there. The reflection in the mirror started to smile, a cruel, mocking smile that sent chills down her spine. Before she could react, the reflection reached out from the mirror, its cold, skeletal hand brushing against her cheek. Emily screamed, but the sound was muffled as though trapped in another world. She tried to run, but her legs felt heavy, as if the mirror's curse had already begun to take hold of her. Her vision blurred, and the world around her started to fade. Emily struggled to break free, but it was no use. The last thing she saw was her own terrified face, now trapped forever in the cursed mirror. Some say she became part of the mirror, a prisoner of her own fear. And to this day, if you venture near the mansion at midnight, you can still hear her screams echoing from within, calling for someone to free her from the cursed reflection.